and welcome back to this week's adventures. So we are part 2 of our Wisconsin adventures. So we are still on our way to Colorado, but we've got a couple more days we want to do here. So we have actually booked 3 nights in this campground for $85 for the 3 nights total, which we actually have got power as well because it has been extremely hot here lately. It's between 27 to 30 degrees Celsius most days, so with plugging in we can have our air conditioning running all night if that's what we need, and as the evenings just aren't really cooling down. So today we actually headed off to New Glarus, which is a little town here just south of Madison here in Wisconsin, and their craft beer that they make there you can only buy in Wisconsin. So that was a must do. So anyhow, stick around and yeah, watch what we get up to this week. The brewery being one of the things, heading into Madison, checking that out, and going up to the Wisconsin Dells that we've heard a lot about, good and bad. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what they're actually like. So see you in our adventure.
You got me. That's all that matters. Cheers, Rachel.
We have come to Devil's Lake State Park, and this has come highly recommended from a lot of people.
Good morning, how are you?
That we have come across.
We'll just go for the day, thank you.
Brett has got the sticker. Like always, you need to have your registration for coming into the park, and we just have to pop that just on our windscreen so we don't get a ticket. Brilliant.
Happy days.
Another day, another state park. So here in Wisconsin we have just been biking mainly on the trails, but today we thought we'd come to Devil's Lake State Park, and it's actually slightly raining, but just little spits, nothing major. And we're going to do a walk here today, and it's called Devil's Lake Loop Trail is what we're doing, and it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. We go up quite a steep incline, get to the top of the bluff, and walk along and get to see some beautiful rock formations and the views over the lake in the surrounding area. So looking forward to that. So best I get ready. Everything ready. Got my water bottles. Just need to put a little bit of this on my shoes. This one's quite smelly, so I usually put this one only on my shoes, not on my body. And they're saying the mosquitoes are reasonably bad here at the moment, so that might just keep a bit away. Would you like some, Brett?
I've already done it, Rachel. No, I've been there, done that. I'm a step ahead.
And then we've actually got sunscreen and, of course, some more bug spray for our body. So there's the water, Brett. I have a water, Brett. Look, I have my water.
Yeah, and 5 minutes into the trek, she'll conveniently have forgotten it.
Okay, let's go. So this Devil's Lake State Park has been said, every time I look it up anyhow, it's a little gem of a state park here in Wisconsin. So the beauty is the lake is gorgeous. It's just beyond those trees. So really good for paddleboarding, kayaking, swimming, and just enjoying lake life, really. And there's big campgrounds here. We couldn't get into the campgrounds.
Too late.
Yeah, we were too late. Oh, I've got my glasses and I forgot my hat.
You were so keen to get your water.
Yeah, I was so keen to remember my water, which I have. Okay, hat and glasses. Right, I have my hat, I have my glasses, and I have my water bottle. I will say one thing, if you take particular notice, which no one takes that closer notice, but I do have a lot of hats. If there's anything in this vehicle that there's a lot of, it's hats, isn't it, Brett?
way too many, I say. I have one and hardly ever wear it.
I love wearing hats. I'm a hat wearer and I have lots of different ones. But Brett has a rule, or we have a rule in the van that...
You don't adhere to.
So I don't have any fancy clothes or anything like that, couldn't care less, but I do like my hats. Brett seems to try and think every time I buy a new hat, the hat has to go. It's because we are limited on space in the van. So that's always been our rule that we've sort of laughed about. New pair of shoes, then a pair of shoes has to go.
I will video later where she actually seems to create space in the van for all of her crap.
I don't buy knickknacks, I just buy hats. We have started the trail. It was actually right at the end of the car park, so nice and simple to find. Trails again that we use. So down here's a diagram of the actual walk we're going to do. Oh, that's a mosquito in here. And we just follow this blue little dot. It'll just keep going along the track, and if I blow that out a little bit, there you go, you can see the loop that we're going to do.
So which way do we go here, Rachel?
Oh, hold on, I just shut it down. I think it's straight.
We could go right or left. Blind leading the blind. I believe this is part of the Ice Age trail, so...
Wicked, eh?
It is, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So all of those large rocks would have been ripped on through by the ice from the glacier that would have been here
many
years ago.
Fantastic. Beautiful walk so far. We have reached the uphill part, which is actually all rocks. They have formed the rocks into stairs for us, so off we go up there.
I'm actually holding my breath so you can't hear that. Whew, that's quite steep. I've taken over the leader because Rachel would get us lost. Here comes Rachie. It's pretty well straight up. I can feel my heart rate, that's for sure. It's chomping. It's booming, my heart.
Is it? It's pretty steep, that's for sure. So the loop we're doing is the Devil's Doorway, and it is because of some of these rock formations. Pretty much it just looks like an open door, and it is gorgeous. It really is a great walk. And even better underfoot now. Look at this. Asphalt. Crazy, eh?
It is.
But you've got to remember that they get a lot of snow here in Wisconsin, so that doesn't wash away, at least, when the snow goes. So that's been a lot of work done on this trail. Wow. Look at those colours. Gorgeous. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It's a common word today. Wow. So as we said earlier, it is part of the Ice Age Trail, and you can actually see the valley here, and on the far side you can actually see the gravel or the rocks. It looks like gravel from here, but those rocks would be the same size as these suckers here. You can see down here as well. So that's the valley, and then this is the lake that's been left after the glacier has disappeared. This is what we've walked up here to see, the view, and this is Devil's Doorway. How cool is that? A little bit of a balancing act up there by that rock. Gorgeous. As you can see behind me here is the lake, so we've still got a little bit of walking to do, but we came up and around the Devil's Doorway loop is what we did. Awesome, honestly, highly recommend. But tip of the day, go counterclockwise, definitely. That's what we did, and much easier. The stairs that are up, that are rock formations made into stairs, are just formed really well, where this side that we've just come down literally is just rocks that you're clambering up or down, whichever way you go. So definitely go counterclockwise. And the other tip, wear these kind of shoes. Wear proper trail shoes. Do not wear runners. So that is us here at the Devil's State Park. We're just doing this quick walk, and then we'll be in the car. Off to the Downs, Wisconsin Downs. We are a little bit skeptical about the Wisconsin Downs. Every single person that has asked us, where are you off to, and we go Wisconsin Downs, every single person says, So we're not sure what that really means. Really? Are you? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's worth maybe popping in for. So we're about to find out why. Wow.
It's been a pretty cool walk so far.
That's very cool. Thanks, Brett.
You're welcome.
Righty home. So we made it here to the Wisconsin Downs, and we're just checking out. We just had lunch, and we're just checking out, or Brett is actually, what the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 thing to do here is. But what we have decided is this is a little bit like when we lived in Missouri. There's a place named Branson, and it's sort of like, if you haven't been to Branson, it's sort of like a made, what would you say, Brett? A made area for tourists. Simple as that. That's as simple as it gets, and the easiest way to explain it. Wisconsin Downs, and it's pretty much the same. So, yeah, we're not going to do anything here. We're going to go for a little bit of a drive around. We're going to have a little bit of a look-see, and then we're going to move on. And so we're going to probably head to Minnesota to make our 47th state. We're going to go for about an hour and a quarter drive from here, and take a couple stops along the way. But just so we can say we've been to Minnesota, so we'll have a look around there really quickly, and then we're going to head back to our campground tonight. So, getting back to the Wisconsin Downs, we're not saying don't come, but it's more for families. Awesome water parks. I think Brett here, what's the number one thing to do?
Here in Wisconsin Downs, according to TripAdvisor, is the Noah's Ark Water Park, followed by the Rick Wilcox Magic Theatre, before you get the Witch's Gulch walk, which you can catch a boat to do the Witch's Gulch, and that's what we had contemplated doing. Outside of that, then you've got a deer park, a wildlife park, and then which is another museum.
So for New Zealanders, that sort of gives you the heads up. It's a little bit like going to Surfers Paradise in Australia in our winter holidays with our family. So that's sort of what this area is. So yeah, so we came, we saw, we're leaving. Ooh, Brett has just spotted sweet corn. Yum, look at it out there. Beautiful. Brett's just checking that he's got some cash. And we're going to come get some sweet corn.
$6 a dozen.
$6 for a dozen. We don't need a dozen.
You just want a half, eh?
Just a half. It's
$3.
plenty.
1,
Yay.
2.
So this is the setup. That is so good. And because we're sweet corn growers in New Zealand ourselves, these people have done it too. That is how you want to buy sweet corn. You want to buy it even in the supermarket with this or here on the end, because that keeps the sugars and the flavours in your sweet corn. So there you go. That's my tip of the day.
Got another foot my side.
Still?
Yeah, still another foot. You got this. Johnny's just a little boy.
I stuck out there.
Isn't it pretty?
Oh, look down the hill.
Welcome to Wisconsin. We're back.
We've had a magic drive today. We are now back at our campground. This is our third night here. So we today, Brett's back in the driving seat. We today, Brett, we've gone from Wisconsin to Minnesota to Iowa, back to Wisconsin.
Yep.
So 3 states today we've done. We just sort of did an up and around a nice big, well, around the Mississippi.
It was. Followed along the Mississippi. It was gorgeous.
It was. Very cool day out driving, actually. Loved it. We're back at the campground. I thought I'd just show you what we do to set up our power. So this is the power box here. So we don't get power very often, but just due to it being hot, the first thing we do, of course, is get our extension cord. Brett's just grabbing that little sucker.
That's our 30 amp plug.
Yeah, so that's our 30 amp plug on the end there.
It's our 15.
Yeah, and that's our 15. So we just plug
So-
that little sucker in there, just like that. Nice and easy. So we come in the back here, we have to turn the inverter to off, which we've done, and then this one here that we usually have running on battery, we just put that to off, and then we plug it in, and then once we've plugged it in, we can put it down onto our shore power, which means power from the land as such, earth power. So that's all we have to do, and now we've got power. But just for New Zealanders, just so you don't get too confused about switches up and down, this is our light switch here. This light switch here, that is off and it's down. Push up to turn on. I know that sounds weird to most USA people. Of course that's on if you push it up. But in New Zealand, turning a light switch on would be down. But here, it's the opposite. Can get a little bit confusing, I promise you. Tonight we're using our microwave. Oh, it's hot. All right, just declothe the old sweet corn and let that cool down and go eat my dinner. So look at that beautiful yellow corn. How are we doing, Brett? You've had a bite, and what did you think?
It's quite warm, but it is absolutely beautiful.
We have come along to the Wisconsin State Fair. She's a hot day out here, actually very, very humid day. It's 25 degrees, so that's not too bad. It's just the humidity is...
It's high.
It's high, isn't it, Brett?
It's like Singapore.
It is actually like Singapore. She's warm. So we've come to the State Fair today. We've been trying to get to a State Fair here in the USA because they are highly talked about. They are supposed to be amazing. So we're about to find out. Hopefully we'll get to see pig racing. What else do they have? All the different stock. What do they have?
Options, they've got dog jumping off, dog tricks and dog things as well. There's all sorts here.
So I'm not too sure, I can't remember if this one goes for a week or 2 weeks even. So every state fair, every state is slightly different how they do things. But yeah, Let's go see all about Wisconsin State Fair. Yeah, it's like, right, got to remember where we parked. Thankfully, we are directly on D. D for Douglas. Nice and simple for us to remember. The first thing we did when we came was we went to the information centre and got a map because, my goodness, this would have to be the biggest AMP show, winter show, mixed together I've ever seen in all my life.
Slightly bigger than Tiara.
So it runs for 11 days, and the history of the Wisconsin Fair dates back to 1851 when the first fair was held in Janesville 173 years ago. So for the next 40 years, the site of the state fair changed annually, but in 1892 they made this site in West Allis, Milwaukee its permanent site. And 2024 also sees the original cream puff celebrate 100 years, which is Wisconsin's most iconic dessert. So Brett and I will be making sure we grab one of those before we leave. Can't come to a state fair and not eat a foot-long hot dog, eh, Brett?
Yeah, American hot dogs.
While paper races are about to begin, it's just 10 short minutes until post time. We will race no swan before it's time. Just 10 more minutes before these little piggies run.
Wow, this is going to be a first watching pig racing, and this team of pigs is from Missouri. Next up, we wandered on down to the K9 Sports Arena, and first up we watched the dogs with the frisbees, and these are actually all rescue dogs. The rest of the day we actually spent down in the animal barns. Heaps of cows to take a look at, and that was really quite cool. We got to talk to a lot of people about the different breeds of cows. We got to watch them get their cows ready for the parade ring, which was actually quite fascinating to watch. And then we wandered on through the goat barns as well, and that was actually quite cool seeing all the different breeds of goats. Then we headed into the pig barn, I suppose you could call it, and they had just finished judging, so we missed the judging, but I was just fascinated with them walking their pigs back to their pens. As you can see, they've got no leads on them, they just wander next to their owners. They do just try and keep them in a straight line. Some of them have got sparkles on them, some of them are dressed up. They're just actually really quite cute. We had a magic day at the Wisconsin State Fair. So glad we've been to one. We'd definitely go again. And we finished up with the cream puffs.
Cheers!
Thanks again for joining Brett and I this week with our adventures through Wisconsin. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't, so you can check out what we get up to next week. Hopefully we are definitely on our way to Colorado. Until then, see ya!